Hello, welcome to High Achievers TV. Today I'm going to be doing something slightly different. I'm here at the office in Newcastle and I'm going to introduce you to Andrew and Pete, who do all my website and fabulous marketing. They've actually got some very exciting news to share with you. They won an award last week, so they've ticked off a huge goal. And for me, this means that proudly, every business I've worked with has actually reached that status. Now, we're going to have a chat with them in the office because they want to share with you some of their moments of inspiration, some of the difficulties that they've been through, and perhaps hopefully give you the opportunity to reflect on whether your business is ready for winning an award and looking at the benefits of what that does for you. So come into the office with me and we'll see what they're up to today. Here I am with the award-winning Andrew and Pete. So, guys, you must be exceptionally proud of yourselves at the moment.
Very excited,
proud,
yeah. So happy,
Sure.
What has it really meant to you winning this award?
Payoff of a lot of hard work and dedication,
Yeah.
I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like recognised for all that effort and, just the fact that you're going in the right direction, that means a lot.
Okay. So could you just proudly confirm to people what it was you actually won?
So we won the Digital and Social Media Company of the Year award at Newcastle Business Awards.
Woohoo! So in the big game now?
Yes.
Okay. But I know from working with you for the past 5 years that, it's not all been plain sailing, has it? And you've been through quite a roller coaster of a journey, but I feel what you've done is quite exceptional.
Thank
You've
you.
certainly listened to the advice along the way, and I think it's important for people out there to perhaps hear your story, because I really do believe that there are some real golden nuggets that you could perhaps take on board for yourselves to put you in this position. So what would be the starting point of where we need to go with this story? Where do you think the changes started to happen?
So we were kind of just trundling along, and I think a lot of people get stuck in that rut. But what we actually did was stop, with your help, and just kind of look back at what we were doing. Are we going in the right direction? Are we not? What are we actually doing here? Are we going to achieve those goals that we wanted to achieve? And when we sat down and we wrote down everything, we planned, forecasted, etc., we were nowhere near where we were going, where we wanted to be, and we weren't going to get there doing what we were doing. And we kind of knew that deep down, but we weren't doing anything about it. So that's kind of our first big step. So with your advice, we actually went and took a week off to work on us.
Yeah, which was difficult at first, wasn't it? Because we've always wanted to take a week off. Then how do you go about doing that? So what we actually did was planned it in. So we looked at our diary, and I think the first week that came up where we had nothing scheduled in at that point was it was almost like 6 weeks in advance. It wasn't like the next few weeks. So we blocked that out straight away. 6 weeks we're gonna work out exactly where we're gonna be going. And we didn't book any meetings. We almost treated it like a holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you hoping to achieve in that week off?
Just to kind of step back, refocus, and maybe come out the other side with some reinvigorated energy to go for those goals.
Yeah.
So we didn't know exactly what we were going to do at that point, but we knew at the end of it something good must happen. And it not just must, but it
was
needed
fun,
to.
wasn't it? Just taking a full week just to concentrate
Trust it,
solely and not have everything else was just kind of parked away. We weren't worried about anything. It was kind of made as the weeks leading up to it, we were super productive.
Yeah,
I remember, because it was like a nice self-made deadline for us to get everything done by.
Good. So guys, what was the result of you taking that week off to work on your business?
It was a great week, wasn't it? It was completely refocusing our minds, what we were doing. We looked at what we were offering to make actual money and decided we didn't want to do that anymore. It was
Yeah,
just kind of something we had fell into. So we looked at what we could do, what we would enjoy. That's when we launched Atomic. Well, we didn't launch Atomic in that time.
That's when we had the idea for Atomic,
Yeah.
our marketing membership site. So that was really exciting for us. We come out at the end thinking, this is what we're going to do. We had a full plan of how to get it launched. We had the whole brand idea, and it was really exciting for us. And what we'd also done is figured out how to make more money and stop wasting our time with stuff that we didn't really need to be doing.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, it wasn't like we'd just taken a week off for no reason. It was, wow, reinvigorated. You know, we're here to really work now on the right things, make more money, and in less time. And that was really important to get to where we needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely, because you work hard, so you deserve the financial reward that comes with that. And sometimes when you don't actually focus on the money, it means that you can be under-potentialised by up to 40% of your working week. So please don't ever feel selfish if you have to do that. So at the point where you've started to launch new products, I know that these guys stopped doing a lot of their services, which horrified me at first because that involved some of the things they were doing for me. But quite quickly I could see that they'd got an idea that they really wanted to run with, that they felt would work and would bring them what they deserved. So from there, guys, what else happened? Talk about some of the other sort of leapfrogs that you took.
I think from that moment on, it was about being super organised, super efficient, but not just efficient, effective. So doing the things that actually were going to make a big difference, and not just being busy on things that aren't potentially right for what you actually need to be doing or achieving your goals. So that for us was a big focus in our mindset. Do the right things, not just do things right.
So from there, it was all about getting organised, really, wasn't it? We thought we were organised till we actually looked at what we had to achieve, set ourselves ridiculously big goals, and scheduled it in. So we worked out exactly what we wanted to achieve, how long it would take us to achieve those things in days, and then scheduled every single day in for the next 7 months. So we knew by the end of that 7 months
And
it would all be done.
And I'll be honest, I was sort of blown away by some of the goals that they'd set. And something you need to be careful of in business is that people say to you, "Oh, are you sure you're being realistic?" Well, forget that. These guys broke the rules without doubt. They were very unrealistic. And as part of that, they have completely repositioned themselves within the industry, and they now have clients that are across the waters, and they've gone global. So tell us a little bit more about that, because that's very exciting.
Well, you picked up on something there that was really key, because a lot of people always talk about SMART goals, and we absolutely hate SMART goals. Right, we think the concept of them is, great. You need to have all of those kind of elements. But the whole achievable, realistic thing, that didn't go with us, because it just makes you conservative straight away in your mindset. Is this realistic or achievable? That means you're setting goals that aren't going to push you, and if you're not pushing yourself, you're not achieving great things. And we like to achieve more, as it were.
Great, no, that's fantastic. So tell me about the importance of your working relationship and sticking together at these sort of difficult times.
I hate him, really.
I know that's not true. Because there's a lot of people out there working on their own.
I feel like what we would always tell our clients as well, especially when you're trying to do marketing for your business, something that's quite creative, it's important to find people that you can bounce off. Be it a coach, be it a friend, be it a marketing company, be it anybody that you can have discussions with about your business, because that's where our good ideas come from. The discussions.
So
we play like the no wrong answer game, where we just, if we've got something that we need to solve, we'll just bat it backwards and forwards, and you can't be negative about each other's answers. You just have to
just keep going.
Go for it.
And you come up with some ridiculous ideas until eventually you come up with a good one. So quantity always leads to quality when it comes to ideas. with the whole partnership as well, it's so powerful to have someone with you, because if you're down, they can help you, and vice versa. So that you've always got someone to help you and support you, which is so important. And if you don't have someone like a business partner or a team of people that you work in, then we'd recommend getting outside help. So join mastermind groups. We're members of 2. Have a coach, have a mentor. We have both. Because you really need to push yourself, and you're only the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so they say.
Yeah.
So who do you spend the most time with?
Good question.
Who do you spend the most time with?
Yeah. Good question, Pete.
Are they raising you up?
Yeah,
or are they bringing you down?
Yeah. So even if you do have a team of people, I would say just getting an external point of view on your business is always so crucial.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's, quite important advice, because I also know that these 2 guys have really invested heavily in their personal development from 2 perspectives. Firstly, how they improve themselves as business people, but secondly, how they get to the cutting edge of their industry so that they can stand out amongst the big guys. So any tips there for people, guys, with some of the things that you've done?
Again, it is just constant learning.
Yeah.
I know it's quite boring to say, but you have to schedule that in as well. So you do have to schedule time to go to the next big conference, or join a membership site so you learn more, or read more, or write more.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot by actually writing about it.
The fastest way to learn is to teach someone a subject.
Okay.
So if you're teaching someone, you have to really know it. So we set a challenge to blog every day for 6 months.
Wow.
Which we did, and that was really tough. But we just set the first 2 hours on our day to do that, and by doing that, we had to constantly read and upskill ourselves to be able to provide the best blog on that particular niche. Because we don't do things by halves. If we're going to do something, then it has to be the best we can possibly do. So every blog had to be amazing, and that's why that really forced us almost to upskill ourselves. You're never gonna have that personal development if it's not part of your routine, if it's not a habit. We think so. If you don't schedule time for it, then it's not gonna happen. But most importantly, if it's not a habit, then no matter how good your scheduling is, eventually that'll break down. It needs to be something so ingrained in what you do that you just do it naturally.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for us, personal development.
Good.
A lot of people that we know, they don't grow, whereas I feel like we've gone from looking up to people to completely surpassing them in a short space of time, really. And we're quite young, but we're a lot further on than most people when it comes to knowledge, and that's scary for some people. So it's really important to keep developing yourself.
And I agree, because I've really seen these guys elevate their performance. The work they produce for me now is at such a high level that I'm getting such an amazing response from the work that we're doing. So they've now helped me with my business, which is quite a lovely turnaround, because obviously as a coach you're only as successful as the people that that are around you, that you work with. So it's great for me to hear. Tell me, what have been the benefits of winning an award and getting to this stage?
Okay, so
make our mums proud.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that lovely? Did you catch that? Make their mums proud, and their business mum.
Well, for us, it opens so many more doors, and it gives us that stamp of quality and approval and credibility. So, because we're quite young, we constantly need something to make us look more credible, because people don't trust you if you don't look credible. If you look young, then have you really got enough experience? Whereas, like I was saying before, because we've upskilled ourselves, we're a lot further ahead than most. But this almost proves that. By we're having this award, it's kind of yeah, you should trust us and what we say now because we've won an award, so it can make sense. And with that, we can do so much more. We can leverage it in so many ways. To start, when you win an award, you can improve your prices. You can do some good press releases about it.
People just
you can go on your
generally
website. It
look
helps
at you
conversions.
differently, don't they?
Yeah, people genuinely, just look at you differently.
It's also incredibly motivating, I would say,
yeah.
isn't it? Just to have that. I don't know if it's still fresh in our minds now, but it is. Just having it in the office is a nice kind of boost.
If you have a lack of confidence.
And it certainly is a big award. Would you just like to show people?
Yeah, it is.
Take a look at this, folks. It's the biggest award I've ever seen. It's huge.
People don't quite realise it's an award.
No, because it's almost like a sculpture.
Yeah.
So no wonder you're proud.
Award.
But it has to stay in the office because there'd be a big argument as to whose mantelpiece it would go on. Okay. So
We'll
just
have to win another.
Absolutely, one each. So I'd quite like you now to just share with my audience, perhaps one piece of advice that you would like to give them to perhaps motivate them to achieve more and get to this award-winning status.
What we like to say is, don't just wait for success to happen, schedule it in. So what we mean by that is, if you want to achieve something big, it's not just going to happen. You need to plan out every single step to make sure that it does happen. We have some really ambitious goals, and we have had some ambitious goals that we thought were maybe 10 years away for us, like 5, 7 maybe years away at a push if we really worked hard. Instead, we achieved them in like 6 months because we scheduled it in, we broke it down. So, write down those big goals that you think are too wild and ambitious. Break it down in what you need to do. Schedule it into your diary, make time for it. And that way it just gets done. Before you know it, it's just done. It's not this big scary goal, it's just little chunks that you do. And that for us has been a real key to success, as well as obviously working with Lesley.
Great advice, thank you. Andrew, what would you like to say?
You just took all my answers. I would say take a punt. Like, they do seem scary sometimes, but once you've got one out the way and you see what can be achieved, that's also incredibly motivating.
Yeah, like we have this idea called the domino effect. So when you want to achieve something really big, what is that first thing that's gonna just knock every other domino out of the way? So it's not necessarily the first logical step, and in a lot of cases, it's actually the last step. So if let's say you're doing you're going for a big conference or an event, you would maybe book out the room, try and sell some tickets, get some awareness, get some sponsors on board, get some middle of the range speakers on board who you think are really good, and then maybe you'll go for that really big speaker who you really want on stage but is maybe a little bit too ambitious because they're quite well known. However, if you actually just go for that one big speaker straight away and you do a standout campaign that's going to get their attention and guarantee that they're going to come, all of those other things are so much easier. How much easier would it be to get a sponsor on board? How much easier would it be to get all those tickets sold with that big name? And how easy would it be to get all of the other speakers, and if not, better speakers? So if you can work out your first domino, then you can leverage that to get everything else. And like Andrew was saying, take a punt. You might think that some people are untouchable or big ideas are hard to reach, but actually the bigger your goal, the less competition there is for it. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are trying to get that next promotion or that next, they're trying to be at this level, this middle level. So actually it's like a paradox whereby being average, there's actually more competition.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to reach that top 1%, it's easier. in a weird way.
Yeah, and I think that's actually become their specialism. They've learnt to leapfrog
Yeah.
over everybody else. So there's, without doubt, a can-do attitude.
Yeah.
And that in itself brings a daily high level of motivation.
I think that comes from a high level of impatience as well.
Ah.
I think that's what we have.
Yeah.
We don't want to wait around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
If you
I
want
feel
to
like
achieve
that's
all
a
your
good
ambitions,
takeaway.
yeah.
Just be a bit more impatient.
Yeah. If you want to achieve all your ambitions, why wait 10 years? Why wait till you retire to go on holidays and cruise around the world?
Mm-hmm.
Do it now.
Good.
Don't wait. So
Yeah.
that's why when we're working with people, we try and we say, what's your big 10-year goal? And then we think, right, let's halve that time, get up to 5 years, and then 2, and then 1 kind of thing. So it's about achieving results fast.
I think they're starting to sound like me. Do you think I've spent too much time with them? But do you know what? It's music to my ears, because this is obviously what I teach businesses to do, and I'm hoping that you'll be really inspired by their story to perhaps start thinking about what your dominoes are. So just, one last thing, if anybody wants to connect with you or check out who you really are, can you please tell everybody where they need to go and how they can do that?
Yeah, so that's dead easy. Just andrewandpete.com. All the links will be on there.
Yeah.
All the social networks, just search Andrew and Pete. We're the only Andrew and Pete.
We're the
around,
only
it
Andrew and
seems.
Pete. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, thank you guys for your time. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I learn something from you guys every time I come up here, so I know how great a business they really do have. So that's it for today, okay? And I'd like to set you off on your challenge. Go and think about what difference this little talk will make to you. And if you want to send me a question that I can pose to Andrew and Pete, or if you've got your own domino that you want to explore, then get in touch. Speak to you later. So thank you for listening. If you'd like to stay... Do you know they are naughty?
If you'd like to stay in touch, subscribe at lesliecalland.com to her High Achievers list. It's awesome.
And if you've got a topic that you want to be covered in a future show, let her know.
I think they've heard me say that too often, don't you? However, they're very right. Please sign up and stay engaged. I'd love to hear from you.
Bye.
Bye.
It's a bye from her.
It's a bye from him and him. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it?